A very special hotline caller. When you talk about a man's career and the important aspects and iconic moments in a public figure's career, typically when a public figure is done doing what he did well, he looks back on life and credits the people in his life that made him successful, right? Governor Christie's written a book called Thank You, Craig. And I'm glad that he recognized my availability to him all the time and my making him as popular a governor as he used to be. Governor Christie, our first ever guest on Carton and Friends. Good morning, Christopher. How are you today?
Craig, what a relief to have you back on the air.
Thank you so much. Yes, that's appears to be a growing sentiment that there's not a lot to listen to with me gone.
Well, I'll tell you this. I haven't started to write that book, Thank You, Craig, yet, but I'm going to get to it very soon.
Well, listen, as long as I'll take either the cover or the inside cover, or if you want me to write the foreword for you, I'd be happy to do that as well. But the fact that you're even considering it is great. And I know for you today's a very special day because even you today think that your team has a chance, as silly as it is, to win a World Series.
We'll be hoisting the Commissioner's Trophy right at the end of October, Craig.
Yes, Chris, of course, is a diehard Met fan. When I first got the job at the Fan and he first became governor, we celebrated over some nachos and popcorn just to the left of home plate at Shea Stadium. Are you going to the game?
Yes, sir.
How many opening days would you say in your lifetime you've been to?
Since 1984, I have only missed 2.
So about 32 out of the last 34. That's
Correct.
By the way, that's you either get respect for being a great fan or just being crazy to buy into the notion that the Mets can win every single year. One or the other, right?
I think it's the latter.
No doubt. Hey, while I got you on the phone, this is Governor Christie. I got to ask you 2 or 3 quick serious things. You have a moment for that?
Of course.
All right, so there's a big deal going on right now when it comes to, sports wagering in New Jersey. Obviously, when you were governor, the case was a Christie versus the NCAA. Now it's Murphy versus NCAA. Just give me a quick overview on where you think that is and when you think that will get resolved one way or the other.
I expect that the state of New Jersey will win that case, and that will win it in either May or June of this year.
Now, what is there, a 9-judge vote on that?
Correct. There's 9 justices on the Supreme Court, and I attended the argument back in December representing the state, and I feel, given the tenor of the arguments, I feel pretty good that we're going to get 5 or 6 votes.
So you need 5, of course, to win. It'd be 5-4. Do you think that if the vote would allow all forms of sports wagering, or do you think there'd still be limitations on what the public could do?
I don't think there'll be limitations that the Supreme Court will put down. I do think that each state then will have the ability to be able to make their own decision about whether they want to have sports gaming at all, and if they do, how they want to control it.
And do you think that would apply to the burgeoning area of esports wagering as well, or was the bill written or the law written that you're trying to get passed, that you were trying to get passed solely for professional or college sports wagering?
Craig, it did not include esports wagering, but I'm sure that after the Supreme Court makes the ruling, if we're successful, that the legislature and the governor would look at including esports wagering as well.
Got it. Now, the only limitations, though, would be the location, which, as I understand it, would be Atlantic City casinos or established racetracks in the state as well, but nowhere else, right?
No, nowhere else. It's going to be casinos, racetracks, and former racetracks.
Got it. So there are some racetracks that have been shuttered, but the property maintains the proposed license to allow sports wagering, which, frankly, would make the property worth a lot more and bring more people to those specific areas, whether they be Cherry Hill, New Jersey, or anywhere else, I suppose, right?
Correct. Yep.
All right.
Absolutely.
So what is if you have one, do you have an opening day good luck type of scenario? Do you wear a certain thing? Like when you went to Cowboy games, you wore that ugly sweater. Do you have something for the Mets that you do on opening day?
No, I don't. I just show up. Showing up 32 of the last 34 years, that's my opening day ritual. I used to tell the folks when I was United States Attorney, my secretary would say, why aren't you coming in on this particular day? And I'd say, you must treat opening day for me as if it's a national holiday.
Yes, and by the way, it should be. The two sports days that should be national holidays are opening day and the Monday after the Super Bowl. And Michelle was telling us that, this is the first time in 50 years every single baseball team opens on the same day, which I think is the way it ought to be. I give Rob Manfred credit for that.
I do give Rob Manfred credit for that. It should be a big new day. Now, listen, I hate that it's March 29th.
Yep.
I hate that I'm looking out the back window of my house and I still see snow on the ground here in New Jersey, and the weather is going to be pretty lousy. I wish we could get these games going a little bit later in April, but I know with all the scheduling problems and the additional playoffs, that's part of my past, not part of my future. But it'll be a little cold and rainy out there today. But let's remember this. For all the Mets fans out there, the Mets have the best record of any franchise in baseball history on opening day. We're 36-20. We have the best winning percentage on opening day, and we're going to add to it today.
And if when you and your kids are driving in to watch the game today, if I gave you a choice of two songs but you could only pick one, is the Christie family more into the Meet the Mets song or into the Curly Shuffle?
Meet the Mets.
Should we do an a cappella rendition of it right now, you and I together?
Yes.
Yeah, let's do it.
And a one and a two. Meet the Mets. Greet the Mets.
Meet the Mets. Step right up and meet the Mets. Bring your kiddies, bring your wife. Guaranteed to have the time of your life because the Mets are really sucking that ball. Hitting those home runs over the wall. East side, west side. Everybody's coming round to meet METS Mets of New York town.
Governor Christie, I love you. Have a great time at Citi Field today. I do hope the Mets win. It's opening day. Every home team should win on opening day except for Toronto, of course, this year. And I can't thank you enough for, A, being a friend, and B, being the very first guest in what, knock on wood, will be a long run here for Carton and Friends. Thank you, and I'll talk to you later on.
Well, welcome back to the air. It is a relief to have your entertainment back in the morning, and I look forward to listening.
And you're saying now that there's nothing else worth listening to from 9 to 1, correct?
What I'm saying is you are the best thing to listen to from 9 to 1.
Thank you, buddy. Be well. Governor Christie of New Jersey joining us. Al Leiter will come by later this morning. He'll break down all the baseball stuff for you. We'll get your phone calls. The number's 844-843-6879. Even though we come from New York and we live in New York and we're New York fans, there are other teams, believe it or not, shockingly, there are other teams that think they have the best shot of winning a World Series. Who are those teams? And the update from Michelle. We'll get to it. And Corey from the cheap seats.
Yeah.
And you on the phone. It's only day one of Carton and Friends. Fantasy Sports Radio Network. The iHeart app. The TuneIn app. Twitter, Periscope, Facebook. We're everywhere.